Hey, heads up, 20 ups. It is Sunday. It is August 28th. Hurricane Irene has just ravaged the countryside and dirtied my pool, knocked over the chair on my porch at my dad's house. So it's pandemonium here. People are freaking out. They have no idea what to do anymore. They don't know what life is. There has been massive looting. No, there hasn't been. Um, I'm actually curious. Moving on to my first topic of the day, Craig, how was the hurricane for you guys? We got hit with quite a bit of rain and quite a bit of wind, but nothing too serious. Nothing that was ever enough to really scare anybody. So, yeah, um, I was curious about that. Also, what the hell was that noise at 2:26 um, of your video? Sounded like a raccoon, but I was a little curious as to why there was a raccoon noise in your video, and you responded to it, like you reacted to it, but you didn't ever mention what it was, and it kind of weirded me out. And also, Twillow, I feel like we're all accepting Tourette Levin Harams too easily. If people want to do a different one and talk about it, that's perfectly fine. I'm more than willing to hear it. Um, and I think that we should have several options. I just know that I want to do the Travis Roy Foundation again for my Project for Awesome video because I really want to talk to Travis Roy and find a way to improve on my Project for Awesome video from last year because it was kind of long and kind of boring, and I contacted them too late about whether or not I should uh, or I contacted them too late it, on getting them to help me with the Project for Awesome video. Anyways, moving on to Lucy. Uh, you talk about how it appears only Australian rugby players have no neck. Not only does Ma'ananu not have a neck, his shoulders appear to be swallowing his head. Um, it's really not safe. At least there is like a stump there that is holding James O'Connor's head. You can't really call it a neck because it's not big enough, but it's a stump that it's holding his head together and separating it from his cannibalistic shoulders. Um, and not to mention, I also find it kind of weird that they call him the Justin Bieber of rugby, when he in fact looks a lot like Zac Efron. Um, I would call him the Zac Efron of rugby. It's basically the same thing. Um, anyways, uh, the thing is that the Wallabies and the All Blacks played yesterday, and the Wallabies won, uh, 25-20. So your argument is invalid. That you're gonna just roll over us because we rolled over you pretty easily. Um, the contest, the Wallabies led uh the Wallabies led 20-3 at halftime, and while you guys definitely mounted a comeback, you were too far behind. And we won our first Tri Nations title in 10 years, and in our last game before we play you in the Rugby World Cup. And we will of course beat you in the Rugby World Cup. Anyways, the thing is about your team, and I like that you said that there are two players on my team that you like. We do have a lot more really good players. The thing is that our team focuses more on being young and fast, and your team, I don't want to say focus more on being old, but it is a more veteran team that focuses more on running straight downhill. And that's what I really like about it. You guys have a really rough and tough style that just plows over any other team, and most teams don't know how to handle that. But what we've seen is because of how often they play, the Wallabies have started to figure out a system to slow down the All Blacks. And same with the All Blacks have figured out a system to slow down the Wallabies. So it's really going to be interesting to see who shows up that day. I, of course, am taking the Wallabies because we're just awesome. We're so fracking fast and we're so scrappy. And that's what I love about my team is just how scrappy we are. I love the fact, and I shouldn't, but I love the fact that when we scored that try in Hong Kong to tie you guys, um, with no time left, Quade Cooper runs over and just shoves an All Black player out of the way for no reason. I just love that because he really, it, it was standing up to the guys who had beaten you 11 times in a row. I mean, how do you, if it was happening to your team, you would do it too because it's just so annoying to go every year and not win. It was, and I love the fact that they were as scrappy as they were about it. So, anyways, um, Rima, uh, moving on to you, I'm curious as to yours and Craig's opinions on Doctor Who episode 8, season 6, obviously. But I was curious as to your opinion on if you've seen it. If you have not, then ignore. But I really liked it. It was kind of a total mind explosion, just a total mind fuck, and I thought it was amazing. I love when Moffat answers a ton of questions and you end up leaving uh, with more questions because he's created so many different things now, so many different scenarios, and you sit there just kind of in awe of it. I didn't like the fact that it was called "Let's Kill Hitler," and then all that happens is that they show up in Germany and put Hitler in a cupboard, and then nothing becomes of it. Like it's kind of stupid to have that then. What was the point? So, anyways, moving on, your thing on narcissism, I really like that. I also wanted to say that I don't think that narcissism is entirely bad because there's this thing that I love. It's called the cocktail party effect that we can only focus on one conversation at a time, and that our ears are trained to our name more than any other word that we hear. Uh, Whenever you hear your name, your ears perk up and then they immediately focus on that. And it's to me, it's not so much narcissism. It's more of a curiosity of finding out about ourselves. My whole thing that I love is I try to figure out how other people see me. Um, it because I want people to see me complexly. I want people to see me as who I am, not as who I sometimes project myself to be. So, because I know those are different. So that's what I try to do when I see other people is imagine them complexly and see them for who they truly are as opposed to who they portray themselves to be. Hey, mom. Um, and yeah, that's actually all I had to say about that. So, um, yeah, that's about it. I loved everybody's videos this week. I can't wait to see everybody's videos for the rest of this week. I'm going to go, and I will see most likely Rima on Wednesday, but I hope to see Danielle tomorrow or whenever she wants to post. Not a problem at all. Alright, so see you guys.